Hi, my name is Abel Garza. I am 23 years old, Hispanic, and from Corpus Christi, Texas. I actually have two jobs right now. I work at a grocery store. It's just kind of like a little cookie cutter job. I work the counter, do production, those types of things. And my second job, which I really enjoy, is I am an fundamentals of baking instructor at a community college here locally. I like to joke around. I have a very genuine side to me that I'm very loyal to people. I really enjoy helping others, trying to teach others, and I have a really funny personality. I love dry humor. I love sarcasm. Some people don't, but that's okay because that's their problem, not mine, kind of thing.
And tell me, how would your friends and toughest critics describe you?
I would say genuine, but a perfectionist. I always aim for the best. I think there's always a standard that you should live up to as far as aiming for higher standards. I don't think you should ever settle for anything. Best quality, I would say finding a positive in every solution. Don't take life too seriously. Definitely get what needs to get done and the right way. But don't overanalyze things, just kind of go with the flow. And worst quality would be the perfectionist because it's very hard to please me. I really do not understand people who are lazy or complain a lot. It's kind of, I have this motto, put your prom dress back on and let's go. Just kind of calm down. Back to what I said earlier, get what needs to get done. Well, in my past, I was a very sick child. I suffered from really bad asthma. I was never able to go play out in the yard or do things like other kids. So I was always inside playing games or doing like arts and crafts kinds of things. So I guess that kind of geared me to what I'm doing now. I like criticism. A lot of people kind of take it a little too personal. I guess you can always take it personal because of the fact that this is something that affects you. This is your design as far as cake goes. You envisioned it, you thought of it, you produced it, and then someone says, well, the color's off or something like that. But if you think about it, this is someone's perspective. That's their opinion on it. They might be right, they might be wrong. It's something to take a grain of salt with and grow from the experience. I would say that I would be a mix of Dana and Karina. Dana, he's very sincere, very genuine to himself, and he excels. Karina kind of has a little bit of a witty side to her, a little bit of a outness to her, which I definitely have as well. If I think my skills are better, I think everyone has a different skill. I think my style is what will set me apart from past contestants. I work at a school. I teach fundamentals of baking. I do have a degree in baking and pastry, and I just love being in the kitchen. It's the most comfortable area that I can possibly be in. I have been baking for about 4 years, and I've been doing cakes for about 3. I really enjoy anything baking and pastry. I've probably been decorating for about 2.5 to 3 years is what I've been doing. Decorating pastry-wise, it would be 4 years. When I first started going to school and interning at the Walt Disney World Resort, I worked in the largest candy shop on Disney property. Originally, I was we call them merchantainment people, which is just a Disney way of saying merchandising. I found out you got a little bit of a stipend, which was like 25-cent raise if you worked in the kitchen, and I went for it because I wanted 25 cents more, and really found out that I loved it, and the artistry in it. It was very fascinating and a wonderful experience that drove me to where I am today. I love to bake cake just because I think it's very personal, and first off, baking in general is very personal. Cooking, you throw a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Whereas with baking, it's more you have to be very precise. These rules are set for us, and you have to follow it to the T because it's a chemical reaction for everything. Everything happens for a reason in baking. You can't just add a little bit of extra just because you think it needs it. I don't really hate much. I dislike making cookies. I love to eat them. I just don't really care to make them, but that's just me personally. I am very creative in the kitchen when it comes to all aspects. Working in limited space, and then also with you don't have a particular ingredient you need or flavoring, you got to spruce it up with what you got.
Any interesting details about yourself or anything that makes you stand out?
I would say it's my personality. I'm very upbeat. I'm very positive. I'm very witty. I'm very sarcastic. I don't know if it comes off the wrong way to some people, but I don't think that's really my problem. It's their problem for perceiving it the wrong way. I mean, that sounds mean, but it's kind of, their problem, not mine.
You were a mascot, I hear?
I was a mascot for one day actually at the local university. Something happened where I guess he got sick and they needed somebody to fill in. I was working the front desk one day and they said, "Hey, what are you doing around 2 o'clock?" And I wasn't doing anything. So they said, "Hey, you want to be a mascot?" So I got to be a mascot for some deal with the president of the university that day. It was really fun.
What is your favorite topic of conversation in a social setting?
Anything religious or political. I love controversy. No, I'm just kidding. Anything. I love anything about life, movies, food, anything. Music. I get my recipes from my mama, like my booty. But no, I get my recipes from books. I love to order books. I love researching different books, recipes, restaurants, or bakeries, going to them, trying to see what I can tweak from that product. And I love just looking at books online. I like to mess with texture. I think texture is something very interesting when it comes to baking, especially cake-wise. To me, a very basic cake is fine, but give me something with that filling. Give me a texture difference, a profile difference, mouthfeel, something. I think that really makes me stand out.
How would you rate your skill level when it comes to baking?
I'm an expert at everything I do.
Decorating?
Expert.
Pastries, desserts?
Right up there next to Jesus. Like I said earlier, I am a perfectionist. I gotta get done what needs to get done, but I want it to be a particular way for me. Just because it'll make me feel better that although it's rushed, it'll be to somewhat of my standard. I think I'm one of my toughest critics. That I always find something wrong with something that I do, but I think that's everybody. I think that's pretty natural and normal that you find the flaws that other people don't.
What makes a great cake baker / decorator?
I would say imagination. I always said this, that you gotta be pretty weird to go into this industry because you deal with people, you have to deal with your hands, you have to be creative. There's a lot of different aspects that go into this industry. And trying to keep up with newer techniques or polishing up techniques, things like that, is just something that's very important.
What makes somebody a bad baker / decorator?
Somebody who's in it just for the fame or the money. I think you should always strive to learn something. Everything in life is always a learning experience. And no matter if it's something you already know, maybe you should take a class still in it to learn someone else's technique. Learn if there's a possibility that there's another way to do something that's been working for you that might be easier and save time so you can work on other projects. I really like to work on my feet. I like to be put in those instances where you got to come up with something rather quickly. At school, I mean, we kind of deal with this all the time. If the shipment didn't come in properly with our groceries, what do we have to use for the students to basically make their product? So I really like to work under pressure.
And working in a group, how do you think you'll fare with that?
I like it. I think it's nice, especially in this type of setting. You kind of work with other people's strengths and weaknesses. It's just a real world experience. When you go get a job somewhere, you don't get to choose who you get to work with. So as far as my strength, I would say it'd be creativity and preciseness. I like things, like I said, to look a particular way. And I'm really good when somebody tells me or advises me to do something or change something. If I believe it'll help the design, then I will definitely go with it. If I feel indifferent about it, then I'll state my opinion. I would say I generally play the leader role. It's because I don't like to listen to anybody else. That's not it. But I do like to play the leadership role. This helps, I think, communication to me is huge. And I think communication, I do pretty well. I don't like to lose. I don't believe in second place. I think there is a winner, and that is first place. You always remember who came in first, not in second. So there's no time or space for a runner-up. A team obviously is more challenging because you have different personalities. Individual, you're working by yourself. So they both have their own pros and cons. I'm very equal here. In every situation in life, you meet people that you don't necessarily get along with. You kind of just have to deal with it. This goes back to my philosophy. You put your prom dress and let's go. Just deal with it and finish what you got to finish.
Sweetheart, the drama queen, the type A bitchy type. Which one of these are you?
All of the above. I'm a schizophreniac. No, I would say I would be an equal balance of both. I would kind of be the mentor, but also the person that needs, has a particular strategy in mind to make sure things get done properly.
That'd be your strategy to play the game and win?
I don't really want to say that because then everyone will know.
Tell me, how do you handle stressful situations?
I wipe my ass and I move on with it. No, I definitely try and take into consideration the situation I've just been put into, and I get it done the best that I possibly can. Give it my all and 100%. I usually take a really deep breath. I analyze everything I possibly can as quickly as I can in my head. If working in a team setting, then I think some kind of a huddle type thing might work, or just trying to get everything together is best.
What does baking slash cake decorating mean to you?
To me, it's everything. This is my life, and this is the career I've chosen. I've been doing this for a pretty good while already. I feel confident, and I feel like I'm learning every day. Like I say, I always take every day as a learning experience. I really enjoy it, and this is something that I know I can make a career on. Whenever I find myself most stressed out, I actually find the most relaxation time could be making sugar flowers. I really enjoy working with sugar paste and decorating. Even if I'm just doing sugar paste flowers all day, it's the most relaxing thing I could possibly do.
Why do you want to be on this show?
So I can be one step closer to being on Oprah's list of amazing people. Look at me, first off. And secondly, I'm very passionate about this field. I'm young, and people will always be like, oh, he's the young one. But I have a lot inside me. I have a fire that I can burn as high as I possibly can. I am the person that is the go-getter, the one that will stop at nothing that gets in his way to get what I want. And I think I would be a great installment for the show. I fit two very important stereotypes that any show needs, which is a homosexual and a minority. So there goes your ratings right there. So that's another boost. I would say my personality definitely makes me different from everyone else.